Well, hello there, lovely people. So why do I think I should be lying on the couch this week instead of sitting on it? Hang around and I will tell you. For anybody who is new here to my broadcast, my name is Tony Kenyon and this is my red couch. And I come to you from Auckland in New Zealand, and I am a Rockstar Romance and a billionaire romance author. And this week, I nearly didn't do my broadcast from the trusty red couch. It has been snot central here, and you probably don't need to know that, but with it being in the middle of winter, not that you could tell at the moment with the lovely sunshine streaming in, we've got a few of those cold viruses going around. So there's been a little bit of sitting around and sniffling and feeling sorry for oneself. And I did think after this morning's busy working morning in the studio that perhaps I might not want to do a red couch broadcast this afternoon. And then I thought about habits, and I thought that just missing a week would be the start of a very slippery downhill slope, and it wouldn't be fair to the people that I know love tuning in each week and watching the replays and pressing the hearts for me so that they gather like little heart seagulls across the screen and down the bottom of the page. And so I sucked it up, as they say, and I got myself on the couch, and my reward for coming and chatting to you, other than just enjoying talking to you, is that it's such a beautiful day. We are going to take the dog down to the beach for a walk and a swim this afternoon. He will be swimming, I will not, but it will be rather pleasant to be off and doing that. So what have I been up to this week aside from snotting and carrying on? I have been involved in some video with the bands that we're doing, and if you've seen my Facebook page, you'll have seen some of the green screen stuff that we've been doing. Another form of storytelling, just a completely different style of storytelling, and one that is sort of music's that whole how do you write a story in 3 minutes and keep people engaged and all that sort of thing. And music videos are pretty much the same thing. We have to storyboard, we have to think about what we're doing, we have to have a plan. It's a heart, thank you, Lisa. We have to have a plan, and then we have to shoot and execute that plan. So it's not that different from writing a book. And the interesting thing about video is that obviously it's very visual, and that we're telling a story in such a condensed space. You know, I get 50, 60,000 words to tell a story, except when I'm writing the King Brothers, when I get 2,500 to write it every week. And isn't that going well at the moment? Are you enjoying where those boys are and what they are up to? And I can tell you they are going some fascinating places next week. So if you haven't read this week's sexy installment, don't read it where anybody else can read over your shoulder, especially if you've got children. But do make sure that you read it, and do make sure that you vote, because it's another one of those weeks where what you vote on has a big impact on where the story goes. Okay, so I've slid off from where I was, which was storytelling. It has been a week of storytelling. It has been a week of thinking about story too. I did a book review for Rockstars Among Us book club, and for those of you who love our Rockstars, if you're not part of RAU, you should go and look up and join. We've started a book club, and we are reviewing books as a group, which is an interesting thing, and I talked a little bit about it last week because I was struggling with the book that we chose. And as it turns out, I wasn't the only one who was struggling with the book that we chose. But the thing that I said that I would do was that I would do a video review. So in amongst the snot of this week, I did my video review, and I talked about the promises that I expect as a reader with a romance, which weren't met for me in the story that we were reading. And I won't share the story that we're reading here, but if you want to go and have a look at that review, go and join the group and scroll through, and you'll find it in amongst all the amazing music videos that everybody posts and the book covers of everybody else's amazing Rockstar Romance books that are being released at the moment. But I talked about the promise of a romance, which is the promise that the reader will read a story about two people who meet, who come together, who have issues that they have to overcome that force them apart, and then they find a way of overcoming those issues, and they have their happy ever after, which is what we're reading, and we don't mind there being issues along the way and things that need to be resolved. But this particular book that we were reading, for me personally, I felt that the hero and the heroine were apart for too long on the page. I didn't see a lot of the chemistry between them, which is what I really like in a romance. And there was a lot of real life situations in there which were triggers for me because of my own personal background. And there can be a lot of triggers for me in Rockstar Romance anyway, with the drug taking and the drinking and all those sorts of things. But there were even nastier triggers in the book that we were reading that I just couldn't go there. I read romance, and I read most of the time because I want an escape from the life that I'm living. And you know, I won't say the endless drudgery, because I don't have endless drudgery in my life. I have things that I have to do that I enjoy doing most days. But when I read, I do like to escape from where I am. And what I found with that particular book was that I wasn't getting the promise of the fantasy of the escape that I normally look for in romance. So what I also found was that there was nothing wrong with the writing. There was nothing wrong with the way the author had presented the story, and I could connect to her writing. It was just the characters that she'd written that I didn't like, and other people liked them. And that's the other thing about there being so many stories and so many writers and so many amazing people out there writing. There is someone for everyone. It's a bit like, you know, there is a bit like the whole romance promise. There is a happy ever after for everybody. And so it's just a matter of reading and finding somebody that you love. And that was helpful for me too as an author, because often I'm such a precious little snowflake, and I sometimes feel quite rejected when people one-star my books and say that they hated them and they didn't like my characters. And what I have to think is objectively that I'm not going to write stories that everybody loves, but I'm going to write stories that some people love. So I just keep writing those stories for the people that love them. And so to those people who love my stories and who come and visit when I'm sitting on my couch, and I do hope if you're watching this later, because most of you do watch it later, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what's going on with your life for the coming weekend. Most of my American readers are probably in the middle of their summer holidays and having a wonderful time. So I just want to say thank you again, like I say most weeks, for inviting me to be a part of your life, for allowing me in. I love the connections that we make on social media and through video and through the groups that I'm part of. And thank you for supporting me and my lifestyle and my writing, and allowing me to be able to go and play with the people who reside in my head. So I'm going to leave it there for this week. We are going to take the dog down to the beach. I will probably post a mood of the suburbs shots if I remember to take my camera with me, because it is such a beautiful day. So thank you again for popping in and saying hello and leaving hearts. And I will look forward to catching you again very, very soon. Bye for now.